Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including four-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
Three-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a three-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare two laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Good evening and welcome to the inaugural event of the Apex Racing League Mazda MX-5 Cup Season 3, broadcast live on the Apex Racing TV YouTube channel. I am James Parfin. I'm joined in the commentary box with Andy Thompson, and we have Samuli Kumu in the production booth this evening. Guys, let's talk about the series. The car of choice is the very nippy MX-5 with a 181 HP engine and a top speed of 216 kilometers per hour or 134 miles an hour. So guys, this car is definitely nippy and by no means slow. The series itself will be 9 weeks of racing and will be brought to you live every Monday at 8 PM UK time. We are here tonight at the tricky Imola Grand Prix circuit. Next on the 11th of October will be the turn of Okayama. On the 18th and the 25th of October, respectively, we'll be at Mount Panorama and Alton Park International Course. On to November, on the 1st, we will be at the Classic Spa-Francorchamps. On the 8th will be the Oran Park Grand Prix circuit. On the 15th, will be Road Atlanta, then the Great Hockenheim on the 22nd of November. Then finally, it will be Laguna Seca on the 29th of November, where we will crown Season 3's 2021 champion. So let's bring in Andy. Andy, welcome to the show.
Oh, James, thanks for having me. Yeah, really looking forward to this brand new series, season 3 of the Mazda Cup. So really looking forward to it.
So Andy, as a Season 2 veteran of this series, what can we expect going into Season 3?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the cars are not as the quickest cars that are in the iRacing scene at the moment, but what these cars do give and deliver is very close racing, and we certainly saw that in Season 2 of the Champions. Extremely close throughout the field. You normally get little pockets of battles throughout the field going into the races, but it always brings up the action and entertainment that's going to be seen, and I'm pretty sure that this season is not going to be any different.
Awesome. There you go, folks. This season is going to be epic. Grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, and sit back and enjoy. So, Andy, for the people at home that have never watched this series before, run us through the format for tonight.
Yeah, so we're currently watching on stream now a 10-minute qualifying, open qualifying. Then we go into 3 15-minute races with race 2 and race 3 are going to have reverse grids. Tonight, race 2 is 8 positions. And race 3 is 10 positions inverted from wherever they finish on the previous race. So, you know, that always adds to the excitement of the races where the top race finishers will be a bit sort of mid-pack and have to fight the way through. So not always going to get it their own way on this championship.
Awesome. So, folks, we're going to have 3 races this evening for an absolute nose-to-tail racing. And we are here all the way through. Andy, some people will sit back and say the MX-5 is slow and boring to drive. Just tell us how tricky it is to drive the MX-5 around Imola.
Well, I mean, obviously Imola's a very open track, really fast corners. And these cars, the MX-5s, are everything that we learn and start off on the iRacing journey that we all go on. So we all start off on the MX-5, although now you can start at the V if you so wish to do single seaters. But you know, these cars are extremely entertaining, you know, really good to drive, and you've got to drive them really well. Otherwise, you know, if you lose that speed on these cars, you can find yourself losing 3, 4, 5 positions out of a corner. So you've got to be nice and smooth. But these cars are made for a little bit of battling, so I'd expect plenty of door rubbing, and luckily the cars won't get written off by the slightest thing. So I'd imagine we'll see some damaged cars by the end of each of the races.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. These cars are tricky, and I've driven these myself. I think pretty much anybody that does iRacing, Andy, will at some point drive the MX-5s. You know, we've got 2 current champions from Season 1 and Season 2 in here tonight. What would you say the main difference was between driving in your rookies when you first start and then looking at driving in a league of this caliber?
Yeah, I mean, that's completely different. Obviously, you start off on iRacing, complete novice at the iRacing formats, and you know, you start learning your car, and then you go up to the sort of like your GT3s, GTEs, and then you can go single seater, whichever way you want to go in the iRacing. But everybody sort of migrates back to the MX-5 cars, and the difference between that and this is that these guys in here all have a decent level of experience. So we see on the left hand side of the screen in the timing tower, we can see the pros that are in the red, and the amateur drivers in the white. Now, just because they're amateur drivers doesn't mean that they are not very good. They certainly, every driver in here has at least 13 to 1400 I rating, and some of the pros have like 4 to 5k I rating here. So the length of breadth of I rating in this field goes from say 1,000 up to, I think the highest one's about 5,000 ratings. So yeah, but don't let that fool you. You know, throughout the field there's going to be battling, and really close battling, as you've seen. If you joined us for Season 1 and 2, you know exactly what to expect. You know, Season 3, I don't imagine it's going to be any different at all.
No, as we jump on board there with Enrique Musumeci. Just the tricky parts of this track itself, Andy. We've got the Tamburello, we've got the Villeneuve, we've got the Tosa. Where in the MX-5 are we going to be looking to really make our overtakes? Where are we going to be, almost, I suppose, in a way that the terminology that we guys would use was, where are we going to send it? And hopefully this tricky, slippery MX-5 at times sticks.
I mean, certainly turn number 2 is an obvious choice. You know, after the fast corner, your cars are going to be at full top speed, so we will see some passes there, and often we'll probably see some optimistic passes. The corner that we've just watched there, coming around Tossa, would be another good point to overtake. You know, people getting it bad off turn 5, 6 into Villeneuve. So this is an ideal opportunity. So there are plenty of places on this track to overtake. This one really is, you can be very brave and try and put it down the inside of the car here, certainly if the car goes wide, but certainly Aqua Minerale is not an advisable place to, you know, this off-cambered corner can catch a lot of drivers out, and often that's where you're going to pick up your incident points as well. And you know, tonight they've got 16 before they get a drive through, and then it's every 8 out after that. So 15-minute races, they just need to be careful of that corner, really.
I think that's the main thing in these cars, because you kind of, when you're sat behind an MX-5, you almost feel like you're driving a Porsche. But it's only when you realise that you're going down the straight and you're really not sort of going fast. You know, as we can see Musumeci here, it seems a lot faster, I suppose, in the MX-5 than it actually is. But you can almost push it to its limit, can't you, with this car?
Yeah, it certainly allows for a lot of mistakes to be made on track, and you'll get away with them in this course. You'll probably see cars going off on the grass. Now, if you were watching sort of the GTE races, GT3, even the single seaters, you know, as soon as you hit the grass in any of them cars, you're a done for driver. You normally get spun off or hit a wall, but in these cars, they manage to keep on the grass and still make the corner. So I expect some people going out onto the grass and still managing to save the corner, maybe cutting it a little bit, but they certainly won't be spinning it unless obviously they're going full throttle into a tight corner. So that's always an option in iRacing.
Yeah, as you can see, we've got about 30 seconds left on the qualifying at the moment. The nearest, we've got Dan Skinner and Paul Hayden out on track currently. We've got Roberto Ferrari, he's in pole doing a 2:03.84. Enrique Musumeci's in second, Dan Skinner third, Paul Hayden fourth. Diamantis is in fifth, Ronald Moons is in sixth, Thomas Sorensen seventh, Dominguez is in eighth, and then we've got the leader of the ARMS there, Lewandowski, he's in P1, which is P9 on track. You know, even though they're ARMS, as we've said before, you know, they're not slow, are they? You know, and I think that's the thing we need to be really aware of for this track.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you'll see the pockets of racing come within the 15 minutes. You've got the fast guys at the front, and we'll just quickly run through the grid there. So Roberto Ferrari starting off his season probably where he left off in season 1 in first place. Enrico Musumeci in second place, Dan Skinner third, Paul Hayden fourth, Ariel Diamantis in fifth, Ronald Mood sixth, Thomas Sorensen eighth, Pedro Dominguez, Victor Lewandowski, Push Deprava, Ross Fowler, Damian McMullen, and the rest of the grid, Pavel Simonek. So that's a surprise for me, for him to be season 2 champion, coming down in 13th. Obviously had a bit of issue with cars probably in front of him. Jay Wash 14th, Ronald Van Chanek in 15th, Simo Soraro in 16th, Andrew Brahm, Hex Valentine, Pano Hydre in 19th, and rounding out the field, Nathan Healy in 20th.
Yeah, there you go. With Pavel, unfortunately, down in 13th position now in the back of the field in the pro section. So we are just waiting for the guys just to finish gridding up. So let's have a quick look on chat. Sam in YouTube. Hey, welcome in. Much appreciated for jumping in this evening. So let's see how we go as we wait for the rest of the cars. We've got Andrew Brahma still to come out. And as the guys say, we got Simonek as well there, Andy, sorry. So we're going to be going green very, very shortly, and we'll get this season 3 underway. Hopefully it'll be very clean, and we'll have an absolutely exceedingly amazing race. As we see, we've got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and your season 3 is underway there. We've got Roberto Ferrari still in front, Enrico Musumeci in second, Dan Skinner third, Paul Hayden in fourth, Diamantis is in fifth as we head down into the Tamburello section. We are 2 wide halfway through the track here. Let's see if they can all make it through cleanly. And at the moment, Andy, they seem to have made it through without any incidents.
Yeah, definitely. You know, not a lot of movement in the field at the moment. The top 11 stay in the positions they started on the qualifying grid. And what is really good is Ferrari and Musumeci at the front, 2 teammates. So Ferrari's got the ideal opportunity to try and scamper away, with Musumeci being the rear gunner at the moment, with Dan Skinner and Paul Hayden in 4th place in Team OTR. So, you know, nice start as we see a spinner in the background there. I think that was Panico Hydre spinning there in the Lee Paul racing car. Quite hard to, it's very difficult, that corner, and it's certainly on this first lap where they've got cold tyres trying to come through that section of Villeneuve, you know, getting it a little bit far out wide and spinning the car. So the cars should take it a little bit easy on this first lap just to get them tyres bedded in, and then they can start getting the lap times in. Yeah,
as we go now with the 2 leaders, we've got Ferrari up in front there. Enrique Musumeci as well in second as we're heading down into Varianta Outer now. we'll be really pushing this cars, guys. We've got Ferrari in front of us at 0.32 as we go with Ronald Moon. He's on the outside. That's not going to work going into the Variante Alta there, and unfortunately he's come off the side of the track as Dan Skinner. That's never going to work there, Andy, was it? Going too wide into that chicane, not going to happen.
Yeah, you always find that if you do try to go too wide into that corner, somebody always comes off where either goes over the grass to the left-hand side, or as we saw there, unfortunately, gets a little bit of a tap and gets spun around at the back. So, you know, all the cars through pretty much safely, apart from obviously Hydra having that little spin, which has put him off the back end of the field at the moment with Sorrento. But all the top 18 are currently still within touching distance of the front of this pack, although we are starting to see little gaps here, and a bit of a strange one there from Jay Walsh, slowing down on the start finish. He must have had a slowdown coming through the Riviazza there, which is very easy to do if you try and cut that corner too much, which is obviously what he did. And unfortunately now we see Jay Walsh going down to 19th position towards the back end of the grid. So that's how costly that slowdown is, as we see a car getting an exceptional line through the first corner.
Nathan Healy there just diving across the chicane. Unfortunately, he still managed to keep Jay Walsh right behind him, and we've got the 214 car there of Simon Soriano as we head down into Villeneuve, and then we'll be going down into the tricky left-hander of Toza. Now, that's not normally a line that we would take, and I'm surprised he managed to hold on as we jump back and forward with Ferrari, who's lost the lead there to Musumeci and Hayden. It'd be interesting if we can see what happened. I think he got a slowdown as well, unfortunately. Now, that's so easy done on a track like this at Imola, Andy. You know, you've got the tricky section. It only takes 1 second to outbrake yourself, and before you know, you got a 2 second slowdown. It's the easy track kind of to get this on, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, certainly off that Riviazza down there into turns number 14 and 15, very easy to get the car out wide, and if you go out wide it gives you a slowdown there, and it affects you all the way down the start finish grid. So obviously, as we saw there, Ferrari, who was leading the race the lap before, is now down to third place. So your grid at the moment, Musumeci in third place, Hayden in second, Giamanci in third, and Ferrari in fourth place. But I wouldn't count him out just yet. He's an extremely fast driver, as we saw in season 1. So he'll be trying the best to get it there. But as we said, the reverse grid for race number 2 is P10. So currently occupied by Pravda in 10th place, and Lewandowski is just in front of him. So it's all the battle at the moment for the reverse grid pole be with the AMS.
Yeah, as we see there, we're on board with Prado. He's got Lewandowski in front, Russ Fowler. As we head down the start-finish straight, we're going to be going down into Variante Alta, Tamburello, sorry, as we go back on board with Enrique Musumeci. He's getting very close up the front. We got Musumeci. Oh, we've got the car of Paul Hayden has gone off into the gravel trap. Unfortunately, settle down with your input coming back in there, mate. This car's coming. He seems to have got away with that one. He's -8 now, unfortunately, on his grid position. So if we have a quick look at the biggest movers, Simonek there is up 7 as we're going to go jump on board with the replay now of Paul Hayden. He's coming down the start-finish straight. He is tucked up behind Musumeci as he pulls out on the left-hand side as we're looking at the screen, car 176. We're coming down into Tamburello. He takes the wide line, unfortunately bounces over the sausage curb, and as we know, Andy, cars do not have steering when they've only got 2 wheels on the track. Yeah,
definitely. You know, he saw his opportunity and actually went for it, but unfortunately that inside track there on the Tamburello is especially hard. Certainly if you're there, you can go slightly on it, but if you hit them black sort of sleeping policemen there, they sort of do bounce your car, and that was a perfect demonstration as we watch here. Musumeci with Ferrari managing to get up to 2nd place at the moment. Shouldn't obviously make a move through this corner on his own teammate, be very silly if he did, but we can see there, you know, how much the car's literally getting air off that corner as they come out of it. It's quite spectacular to see.
Yeah, as we now go with the leads, Ferrari is in 2nd, Musumeci is in 1st. You've got Giamantis in 3rd, Pedro Domingo's 4th. Simonek is up an amazing 8 places now. He's up into 5th. Ronald Moon's in 6th, Thomas Sorensen 7th. Lewandowski is 8th on track, but he's leading of the AMS at the moment. As we can see, the 3 leaders there, Musumeci in front, Ferrari in 2nd, and Giamantis is in 3rd. As we come down the start-finish straight, we are going on board with Roberto Ferrari. We have pulled out onto the right-hand side. Musumeci is now 0.04 behind us. We're looking to take the outside line going into Tamburello. Well, we've even got it done before then, Andy. He cleared it before the chicane.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's good to see that the two teammates are actually fighting it out, and it's not front runner, rear gunner action going on. So these two teammates are fighting it out at the top of the grid at the moment, and we can obviously see Roberto Ferrari's pace there, obviously going back down to fourth, managing to get up to first. But what is good is the teammates haven't got it all of their own. They've got Yaris Jomantus in third place, right on the tails with them. So if these two keep fighting, Arias will make that opportunity to pay. If he gets a little sniff of a gap, he will take it. But what is interesting is now the gap between third and fourth place. So these front three runners are actually pulling away from the field, you know, currently 5 seconds ahead of Simonek, who's now managed to get himself up. I was expecting to see him move up through the field quite quickly, so must have had an obvious issue there in qualifying why he was so far down the grid. And I suppose that's one of the things that we've got to look at, James, is when they're in the qualifying, it's open. So, you know, if you try and get the slipstream off the car in front of you, you're playing that game if that car in front of you comes off or has an accident and compromises, you allow it. So it's either you try and make that risk to get that slipstream, which will gain you time on this track, or you try and get a clean track to get it in. And obviously it just looks like it didn't pay off for Simonek there, but a great recovery drive getting up to fourth place.
Yeah, he's up 9 places at the moment. We've got Prada there is in battle with Lewandowski as we're heading down into the tricky Ravazza section. We got Prada on the inside. He's taking the inside line. That is the move going to be done. I don't think Lewandowski's going to be looking at coming back round as he is. We are too wide heading down onto the start-finish straight. We can see the 169 of Robert Moons in front of us, but we are still pushing down on board with Prado, who's got Lewandowski on the right-hand side. And we're going down into Tamburello. We're going to be too wide, I think, all the way down here, Andy. And let's see how this pans out. I think this is going to be Prado's corner if he can keep that inside line. As we know previously, he's been so strong so far. And there you go. I think, to be honest there, Andy, I think Lewandowski just kind of backed out a little bit, let Prado have it, and sort of relive another day, didn't he, really?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was a wise move, and as you can see there, because he was on that inside line, he lost a lot of speed coming out there, where obviously Lewandowski had it, so he's coming back at him at Villeneuve here, managing to get around the outside, so a great line there, and he's going to have the inside for the tight corner of 7 at Tosha here. And doesn't manage to get it done. He actually gets caught there by Fowler, so Fowler, you know, getting out of nowhere, getting in between now Prada and Lewandowski. So Fowler up 2 places in that one incident there. So great drive there from Ross to get himself up. So currently in second place in the AM, but we got Prada at the front of this AM trio that we're watching. Well, 4 cars there, all in a line there, and McMullen joining in the battle there in the 11th place. So certainly all to play for this AM Championship win in the first race of season 3.
Yeah, as we come round into Aqua Minerali there, we're going to be going down to Varianta Alta very shortly. Ross Fowler is sitting in the back. We're on board with McMullen as he goes through the Varianta Alta. Takes a lot of curve, as you can see from the MX-5, but we've got a lot better drive than Lewandowski. We're tucked up right behind it now. We're on the right-hand side. We're going to be sticking our nose out, coming down into the Ravazza section. We really want to be taking this inside line if we can get it, but I don't think Lewandowski's going to give it to us. Oh, we're going to push too wide. We're going to go too wide. We're going too wide round Ravazza. Unfortunately, that didn't work out for Damien McMullen, and he's come through, and he's still at the back there as well. Oh, unfortunately, Paul Hayden as well stuck his nose in there, Andy, and we're going down the straight. Coming up, we're going to be 3 wide, I think, sir, by the end of this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we come to normally see in these MX-5 racing. All the cars are fixed setups, so there's no advantage over different setups. All these cars are exactly the same, so it's down completely to driver skill, as we see the 2 teammates side by side coming down here into Tamburello, managing to get it through. Damien McMullen trying to get up on the outside of him. We'll have the inside for the next corner, so in a really good position. And Lewandowski just on the tail of him. So these 4 cars are battling out. The front one of them actually managed to get away there, but these 3 certainly into a battle coming down into Villeneuve.
Yeah, as we head down into the Tosa section now, we're going to be heading out into Piratella. We've got Lewandowski there, who's got Damian McMullen right behind him. We've got Paul Hayden in front and Dan Skinner, who's managed to break out a literal 1.23 second gap now away from these guys. And we're going to be heading down with Damian McMullen is on our left. We've got Lewandowski on our right coming into Piratella. I don't think this is going to be a move for Lewandowski unless he literally sends it up the inside, and he's settling in behind him there. As we come down into the second part, we're going to be heading down into Acqua Minerale very shortly and down into the Jewish chicane of Varianta Outer. Now, Andy, we said sort of turn one, turn two, you might be able to make a move, but these guys are kind of defining that and making moves all over the track at the moment.
They always make fool of us commentators, these MX-5 drivers, and make passes where you don't think they'll be able to make passes. So, you know, I'll always give it to them. They always make fools out of us up here in the commentary box when we say, can't really do that. And I think under normal circumstances you can't, but like you say with these cars, the reason why we chose these cars, it's they're not the quickest. No, they're not. They're certainly not slow or sluggish, but what they are very nimble, and they can get into places where like a lot of the other cars can't do. As we saw there in the last lap, the 4-car battle that we had cars on the road, Lewandowski on the grass, and normally under like, if you were driving a GT3 or a GTE car, you'd be spin it there, but you could just see Lewandowski just powering it around the outside and managing to keep it. So these cars they're fantastic to drive in, and obviously in this sort of environment where all the drivers are well versed, as we see Sorensen taking a little bit wrong there, and that's exactly what I mean with the recoverability of these cars. You know, you were in a faster car there, you're seeing wall all day long, but these cars are so nimble and, you know, so agile that you can actually get them and save a lot of the mistakes that you would normally see in other cars.
Yeah, as we go there, we've got Dan Skinner in 173. We've got Russ Fowler, Paul Hayden in a freeway. There seems to be little pockets of battles going on, Andy, as you mentioned earlier on. We've got 1, 2 and 3 not very far apart. We've got 4, 5, 6 and 7 again. And then we go down to the 8, 9, 10, 11 battle, which is what we're looking at currently as well. But it's interesting to see that Ferrari now, it seems to be pulling out sort of a second gap on Musumeci, who has got Yumantis kind of tucked right up behind him at the moment. But as we focus on Russ Fowler, Paul Hayden, Dan Skinner as well, it's going to be an interesting last a minute and a lap. So, you know, we're going down into the Acqua Minerale, going down the straight, which will be taking us down into Varianta Outer. Now, these guys, I think, Andy, we've got literally 50 seconds left, maybe a lap after. We're going to be, are they going to be dive bombing, do you think, or are they going to be settling for where they are? You know, because they're in good positions. Would you really want to jeopardise that on the last lap?
Well, I mean, obviously, Russ Fowler there is currently in the place just behind the reverse grid pole of 10th place of Paul Hayden. So, you know, he may make an optimistic move to try and gain that 10th place. But so it goes back to where we were saying about the pros and ams. We've seen here pretty much all this race, you know, Russ Fowler battling it out with Paul Hayden, Dan Skinner, both pro drivers. You know, these cars are so finely balanced, and it's only the pro and ams are only differentiated by their iRacing. But, you know, when you get in that following slipstream of a pro driver and you're following his lines, it sort of negates the pros and ams status. And it's down to an all-out race between the two drivers, and you see a lot of passing, but you know, it's absolutely fantastic racing here as we're on the last lap at the moment, as we see Jumanchis tucked in right behind Musumeci in second place. Ferrari pulling out front, currently got a second, but Simonek has made a valiant start considering where he started at the start of the grid, so he's way back a little bit in fourth place, but these three certainly at the moment, and I think Jumanchis is just maybe lining up Musumeci for a possible move coming down into the Ravazza.
Yeah, as we'll be heading down into Piratella at the moment. We've still got Yumantis who will stay on board, but these guys coming round this last tricky third section of the track. We're going to be heading down into Acqua Minerale. There you go. We are going to be into the Varianta Outer very shortly. Yumantis is still tucked up behind with 0.32 seconds back. Coming down into the Varianta Outer. This corner, I think, and the next one down at Ravazza are his chances if he can get a good drive coming out of this chicane. As you can see, the MX-5 almost airborne there as we're heading down now into the Ravazza. We got Yamantis literally tucked up by Musumeci with 0.21, 0.2, and we are eating the time as we're going to head down onto the right-hand side. Are we going to be sticking our nose in? Are we going to be doing it? We are not. Musumeci covers the inside line, which unfortunately makes Yamantis just kind of sit stationary into positions as we're heading down onto the start-finish straight. Yamantis has got a better exit, but I don't think he's going to get him. And there is your race 1 winner there with Roberto Ferrari as well of season 3. Musumeci in second, Yamantis in third. Pavel Simonek is coming across the line in 4th as well, who absolutely adding. To be fair, he made up 9 places. That's absolutely incredible. Dominguez is in 5th, Ronald Moon's in 6th, Thomas Sorensen 7th. Prada there is still in 10th with Paul Hayden in front. These guys had an absolutely epic battle all the way through. Russ Fowler has crossed the line in 11th as well. Well, that's okay. So that race itself, Andy, sets us off on the tone for the rest of the evening, doesn't it? We've got 2 more races. We've got reverse grids. This is just going to go, you know, if I was at home now, I'd literally just be grabbing my popcorn, grabbing my drink, strap myself in and enjoying the ride. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, these MX-5 races, you know, are always action-packed. You know, to try and do anything bar commentate on it is quite hard. There's always something going on throughout the field, and what is the added spice to this championship now is the reverse grids that we get. So, you know, we don't have Roberto Ferrari starting at the front of the grid and just getting away from the field. He's now got to fight his way back through from 10th place to try and get up to the front. So what it shows their driving skills now, whether they can get past the slower drivers to actually get in back up to the front grid. But, you know, one thing I'm going to say is watch out for Pavel Simonek this race. I think he is going to be the one to watch.
Yeah, as we take you through the race 1 results very quickly, guys, we've got Roberto Ferrari was your out winner. Enrique Musumeci there is in second, Yamantis in third, Simonek in 4th, Dominguez 5th, Moons in 6th, Sorensen in 7th, Dan Skinner 8th, Paul Hayden in 9th place. That round out the pros. We've got Prada in 10th on top leader of the AMs. Fowler in 11th, McMullen 12th, Lewandowski 13th, Soriano 14th, Healy 15th, Van Dijk on 16th, Brahma on 17th, Valentine on 18th, Walsh in 19th, and Hyriday in 20th. As we saw, unfortunately, he had that very nasty accident at the beginning of the last race. Now, as you see, we're going into the reverse grid. We've got less than about, well, we're literally off already. So we're going to be quick. Yeah, so we go to the lights there. We've got Prada on pole, Paul Hayden second, Dan Skinner third, Somerson 4th, and we are away. Now, they've made this car very tricky with the sequential to get it off the line now. But as you see, Prado has done an absolutely amazing job as we head down into Tamburello. Hayden is up into second. Skinner is on our right-hand side. We come down into the Tamburello corner. Hayden takes second. Skinner third. Sorensen in 4th. We're 2 wide at the back there with Ronald Moons. Simonek is now up as well. He has gone through, which is absolutely amazing. He's up into 6th already. Another clean start, Andy, there. But as you can see, we've got Paul Hayden is really pushing Prada, coming down already into this first little part here. And it's a very quick push, isn't it? Because they don't have long. You know what I mean? We've got 15 minutes. Prada's got to be looking at getting away, surely. And Hayden wants to stay in front of Skinner. So, and to be fair, they all want to try and stay in front of Simonek, who was just lightning quick in the last one.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, moving up through the places at the moment, currently in P6, only at 1 place, so that's probably the only move. And Andrew Barnes in 16th. So everywhere else is where they ended up. As we watch Simonek there, just trying to squeeze his way down there through the fast corner. So I think he's made that move done. Yes. So there he moves up to 5th place there, past Ronald Moons, coming down into turn number. What turn is that? Really? Minerali, isn't it? Yeah, Minerali, turn number 10. So obviously the first lap out, all keeping it nice and clean. I'm actually really surprised at the cleaners, but Christian Private going 2 wide here, getting the offline, but still managing to keep that first place at the moment. But what Pressure Private is, he's a very consistent, clean driver, and he will, if he feels that these guys are faster around him, he knows he's fighting for the amateur championship, and he'll just let them go, tuck in behind them, and just follow them through, trying not to lose too many places. So, well, I would expect him to sort of let these drivers go, as we see the Hayden managing to get round Prava around the Viviazza section of the track here, but Prava will just tuck in behind him him now, get his slipstream on and just follow him through. But as we see there, Simonek currently up into 4th place. Ferrari not making very much of a move at the moment, currently still sat in 8th place, so only up 2 places from where he started. But like I said, the one to watch out for me this race is Simonek.
Yeah, I think as you can see there, Simonek's up +3 already as we head down the start-finish straight. Prada in front, Dan Skinner and Paul Hayden. You're all going to have to watch out. Simonek is coming as we see Dan Skinner there. Oh, unfortunately, that is literally a collection of cars as we play car bingo and see who unfortunately was collected in that. Prada is there as well. Unfortunately, that literally sent Dan Skinner and Prada to the back. Prada's had to go straight into the pits now as we go on board with Dominguez currently as well. Oh, he's had another one as well. This is all going off in race 2, guys. This has got absolutely crazy as we go through Tamburello, Villeneuve and down into Tosa. I think it would be good to try and get a replay of that one, Andy, and I think we can literally decipher what actually happened there.
Yeah, so obviously Prada on the inside just clipped Skinner, unfortunately, coming out of the exit, and then obviously got picked up by Ronald Moons coming in and was in no man's land in the middle of the track then. Literally done the right thing, trying to just keep himself still to let the other drivers get around him. But what we do have in this championship is the drivers do get a fast repair in their cars, although it's not really helpful in only a 15-minute race. So that was very unfortunate there from Pushtabar. Andrew Baum as well has managed to pick up some damage to as we watch a spin there from Damien McMullen coming through the Minerale section of the track. So getting a little bit spin, so a little bit more action in this one. The guy's getting, a little bit complacent. Get that first race under the belt and then let hell loose on the second and third race. So as we can see, quite a few bumpers hanging off at the moment.
Yeah, we've got Hex Valentine now who's completely lost his bumper. He's just pulled over and said, go on, off you go. My bumper is hanging off. I can't really do a lot, unfortunately, on that one. But again, coming down into Rivazza, we're going to be heading down the start-finish straight as we go back on board with Lewandowski. His car's looking a bit battered and bruised. I think he was one of the cars that got caught up in that accident. Unfortunately, we've got car 287, which is Nathan Healy. He's having a bit of an internet issue there. He's blinking all over the track. And I think that's one of the added difficulties, Andy. I think when we look at cars that do that, you never really know where they're going to appear. And when you're on a tight track like Imola, it's never good when you can't actually see the car in front of you, is it really?
No, you're sort of like going in blind. Oh, a big two-wheel action there from Healy. I think it was Healy in front. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Jay Walsh, Healy as well, yeah, Russ Fowler.
Yeah, literally 2 wheels going around that corner, taking that corner as much as they dare to at the moment. And that's what we were saying at the start, these cars like Russ Fowler, they're getting off track. Lewandowski in the background there, managing, that's what I'm saying on this track, how much you can save these cars when you do go offline with that, and it makes for some amazing saves on the TV. But one of the things to look at, Simonek now currently in 2nd place. Roberto Ferrari's made a massive move at the moment, currently in 3rd place, just behind Simonek, and this is where I thought the battle would be for the season between Simonek and Ferrari, just battling it out constantly on track. So it'll be interesting to see now that we've got both the drivers like right behind each other and how they react, and see who comes out top on this. Obviously the first race Simonek was a bit far down to show his pace, but certainly now the season 2 champion here at the front, Paolo Simonek, versus the season 1 champion Roberto Ferrari in 3rd place. So battle on, guys. Yeah,
as we see they come down into Rivazza, we've got Paul Hayden has opened up I'm going to say massive, because it is when you're in a straight field like this, of 3.95 seconds. He's off halfway down the road. We've still got Simonek and Ferrari behind each other as we head down the start-finish straight. Thomas Sorensen, Musumeci is up 4 places. He's in 5th at the moment. Diamantis is up in 6th as well. Nathan Healy, he's down in 7th as well as we head down the start-finish straight. We're going to be coming into Tamburello as we go out. Ferrari's pulled out on the right-hand side. Simonek on your left as you are looking at the screen. We're going to be heading down into Tamburello. Simonek makes it cleanly through there. Doesn't really give Ferrari any room to make the pass, but we are coming out onto the straight of down into Villeneuve and Tosa, Andy, and that's generally where we're seeing most of the moves. I suggest unfortunately there we've got, who was that going off? Was that Nathan Healy taking a different line that we haven't seen throughout this race anyway. But we did see, I think it was Nathan for the first one as well, taking that line, wasn't it, Andy?
Yeah, I think Nathan Healy thinks he's in the Super Truck series, not in the MX-5 series. You know, if you've not watched that, then have a look back and you'll see exactly what I mean there. That was an absolutely crazy but brilliant series. But, you know, we're currently on seeing with Healy managing to his own Norfolk line, keeping that 8th place. But, you know, this battle at the moment's really heating up between Simonek and Ferrari in 2nd and 3rd. You know, I think these guys are so evenly paced, and they've both got excellent amount of skills to spare, and with this car it's going to take a mistake, as we might see one here now, going too wide as for Ferrari, managing to is he going to get the move done? He's certainly going to get the pass done into this corner. It depends on how much Simonek gives him the room, and clearly he's not going to do it, but they both managed to get through nice and cleanly. But a role reversal there with Simonek managing to keep that 2nd place over Ferrari in 1st. So wow, I mean, exceptional driving between the two drivers.
Yeah, as we head down into Ravazza, we still got Simonek in front. The 2, we've got Ferrari tucked up behind us at the moment, 0.33 seconds back. But we see again, while these guys are fighting, Paul Hayden has opened up now a 4.3 second gap. We've got less than 7 minutes remaining, and it's going to be interesting to see if Roberto Ferrari can clear Simonek as we head down the start-finish straight. He's there on our tail end with 0.765. He's pulled out to our left as you're looking on the screen. We got Simonek on the right, Ferrari on the, well, they've swapped over now, so we're on the right and on the left, and there you go, that's Ferrari through into Tamburello. Now, is Ferrari, do you think, and he's going to push it on to Hayden? He's 4.5 seconds. He's done a second faster, well, it was 0.1 seconds faster in that last lap, but obviously he was held up behind Simonek. Are we going to be seeing, do you reckon we're going to see a drive now from Ferrari who's going to be trying to get a hold of Paul Hayden?
I mean, it'd be interesting to see if he can actually get away from Simonek, but Simonek will be a hard competitor to try and shug off. You know, obviously just been passed, but that was due mainly to the slipstream down that start-finish straight there, extremely long, and these cars have got good slipstream effects, certainly if you're tucked up behind the rear bumper of the car in front. And basically he just pulled out there, so not getting away at the moment is Ferrari over Simonek. Simonek still keeping there within that slipstream, so it may be a role reversal here going into the next lap, but Ferrari's doing everything he can to try and eke out and not giving that slipstream effect going down that start-finish straight. But Simonek is not going to be shrugged off easily, but this is a battle here for 4th and 5th place. Musumeci managing to get past Sorensen in 5th place at the moment, so we've got sort of like two little battles, Ferrari, Simonek and Musumeci and Sorensen for the top positions in this race number 2.
Yeah, we've still got Ferrari out in front of us. I think it's an interesting note that throughout this race, Ferrari's done a 204.2, Simonek's on a 205.87. Now, are we going to be looking into the fact that Simonek, after obviously being 1.6 seconds slower than Ferrari throughout this race, is he going to be now holding on to him onto the toe, and is he going to be hoping that he can keep within that toe? Ferrari's now pulled out literally 1 second to Paul Hayden in front. He's now 3.3 seconds back, and on the last lap he was slightly quicker again, so he is closing that gap, Andy, but I don't know if with 5 minutes left he's got enough time to try and catch up with it. I think it's down to Hayden to keep this as clean as possible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the problem that Ferrari does have is he does have Paolo Simonek right on his rear bumper a lot of the race, so he's obviously going to keep one eye on Paul Hayden in front, but also keep a bigger eye on Paolo Simonek behind him, because he doesn't want to lose that 2nd place. I mean, as you were saying there, it's about 3 seconds of difference between himself and Paul Hayden, coming down ever so slightly, but not enough to be any significant that would give Ferrari that boost that he could probably catch him between now and the end of the race, which is only 4 minutes away. So you're probably talking the best part of 2, maybe 3 laps left in this race number 2. But at the moment, sitting in the bubble spot of the reverse grid for race 3 is Damien McMullen here in 8th place with Skinner just right on his tail, the pro driver, and you have Serino just behind him in 10th. So these 3 quite closely battled to try and see who's going to get that reverse grid pole for race number 3.
Yeah, with Damien McMillan in front of us, we got Dan Skinner on board. We're closing the gap up 0.12 and closing. as we're coming down into Piratello. We're heading down into Aqua Minerale now. We are tucked up there behind Damien McMillan. We are making a move on the right-hand side. We've got Dan Skinner on the right, Damien McMillan on the left, and he settles back in behind him. Coming down into Aqua Minerale, we're going to be looking at going up to Varianta Alta now as we're heading into the chicane section. Again, Damien McMullen's in front of Dan Skinner. We are one by one as we're going to be heading into the chicane. Is this going to be our move, or are we going to be looking at getting a better drive out? Oh, Damien McMullen, there you go. That gives Dan Skinner the amazing drive out that we was expecting. He's on the right-hand side as you're looking at the screen. We've got Damien McMillan on the left as we're heading down now. Going down into Ravazza. We are on the inside as Dan Skinner. There you go. The move is already done. Soriano now is fancy sticking his nose on the inside of Damien McMillan and a touch. That was not a good move to be making Soriano. Unfortunately there, that's a bit dangerous there, Andy. I think he didn't really have that sort of fully committed, did he?
Yeah, I think that's what we call a full-on yeet there, unfortunately, into Ravazza. Luckily for Damien and the rest of them, they basically managing to keep the positions that they had, but obviously I'd imagine that there is extensive damage there on Damien McMullen. Literally a side swipe as we see him sort of struggling there, losing the places. Sarano and Vantarek currently obviously taking him at the moment, so probably a little bit of damage there, and the Damien won't be a happy chappy.
Returns the favour! Oh, Andy returned the favour, Soriano. It'll be interesting to see how much steering actually Damien has actually got, if we can get on board with his steering, just to see if he is holding it straight. But he definitely returned the favour on Soriano there, and unfortunately, you know, it was one of their moves. He went in, he carried a lot more speed, which was impressive itself going into Tamburello. But yeah, he kind of gave Soriano a little bit of a love tap there, just to say, well, you've done it to me, I'm going to come back through and do it to you. Obviously, I'm sure it wasn't completely intentional, Andy, but he definitely did nudge him, didn't he, as he coming into that section?
It certainly looked like it, but I know Damien old, and certainly he was one of the characters in season 2 of the Mazda Cup. Very clean, very consistent, very clear driver. But you know what is happening here at the front? So basically, Ferrari and Simonek managing to get onto the back of Paul Hayden here, and I think they are going to have another lap. They're not going to pass that line before that 15-minute marker, so I think they possibly might have another lap, and that will not be good for Paul Hayden with the amount of time that Roberto Ferrari and Paolo Simonek have managed to close up on them as they come over. As we can see, 15 seconds are going to come across the line and have less, so there definitely is another lap here at Imola. So Paul Hayden's going to be feeling all sorts of pressure now from Roberto Ferrari in second place, who's trying to get that double race win tonight as he moves to the left, moves to the right, just trying to square him up for Tamburello. I think he's setting him up really well here, making Paul go super defensive, so he can get the proper fast line and just dive down one of the insiders. We see him here going on to the right-hand side of Paul Hayden's car coming down into Villeneuve. So, you know, Paul Hayden's going to have the slower line coming through here as
there we go. Paul Hayden's managed to keep the lead there from Ferrari as we come down into the left-hander of Toza. We're going to be taking this. We've got Ferrari on our right. We're going too wide down through Toza. We're going to be pushing down into Piratello. I think this is going to be Ferrari's chance. Unfortunately for Paul Hayden, he's got Simonek tucked up as well. He doesn't want to be defending and losing 2 positions on the last lap as we're heading down into Piratello. Paul Hayden is still going in there with Ferrari. This is too wide. Going round Piratello, but Simonek is looking and sticking his nose in as well. Are we going to be going free ride down into Aqua Minerale? That is definitely not going to work, and somebody unfortunately will come out. Paul Hayden touched Simonek, I think, going down into Aqua Minerale, and Ferrari has taken the lead. He's made up a massive 4.3 seconds. At one point the gap was out, but he's got a very slow exit as we come down into Aqua Minerale, down into Marietta Alta. Paul Hayden's tucked up right behind him now. He's got to be looking to get a stronger exit off the curb to keep Simonek behind him. Going down into the Ravazza section, we've got Ferrari in front, Hayden second, Simonek third, Musumeci in fourth, up a massive 5 places as well. Somerson fifth, Yamantis in sixth, Skinner in seventh as we head down into Ravazza. I think this one is going to be Ferraris as we come down through the second part of Ravazza, going on to the start-finish straight. I think Paul Hayden has settled back into second. Now, is he going to be able to keep it from Simonek? Simonek, it looks like he's got a better exit coming out of that last corner. As we head down now, we're going to be crossing the line. I think that is... Oh, is that going to be the positions? No, Simonex jumps Hayden right on the start-finish line. Takes to second place. We got Ferrari as the winner. Simonex second. Hayden third there, Andy. That was, well, an incredible move from Simonex coming off the Ravazza section.
It was. I wonder if Hayden had a bit of a slowdown there and didn't quite serve it, because he's sort of towards the line, sort of backed it up a lot there, and Simonex obviously took it. So the Riviazza slowdown coming back into full force there, and obviously, you know, Paul Hayden doing probably a good job, because if you go over the line with a slowdown still to be served, you'll get a 30-second penalty. So he didn't want to obviously affect his third place, but you know, we're still watching the battles here going down the field. Lewandowski, cars look like it's certainly been in the war here in 13th place. Ronald Moon's just behind him, the pro driver, in 14th, and Panico Hydra in 15th there. Wow, I mean, what a race, number 2. You know, 3 cars literally nose to tail in that last corner going into Ravazza. You know, you can't wish for more in a race, I think.
Yeah, I think the battle with Lewandowski and Moons was who's going to see how much bumper we're going to have left on the front of the MX-5 there, as both of them had them hanging off coming across the start-finishing line. Wow, that was an absolute action-packed race 2 there, guys. Now we're taking through the top 10 very quickly. Well, Roberto Ferrari was out in first, Simonex there second. Hayden, who had that slowdown at Ravazza, managed to drop down into third. Musumeci was up 5 places into 4th there. Somerson 5th. Diamantis in 6th. Dave Skinner in 7th. Russ Fowler leading the AMs. 8th on track, 1st in the AM section. Damian McMillan 2nd. And Jay Walsh there rounds out our top 10 now. Wow. If this is the second race, what are we expecting in the third, Andy? Are we, you know, we had a bit of carnage. Ferrari making up some amazing moves. It's incredible.
Yeah, it certainly is there, as we see the results from race 2. The top 10 obviously been talked about. 11th was Yatarek, 12th Saracino, Lewandowski, Ronald Moons, Hydra, Dominguez, Pravda, and Healy round out your top 18. And unfortunately at the bottom, Tex Valentine currently 2 laps down. Now you may say to yourself, well, why bother keep going if you're right at the back and that far back? But if you are within 2 laps of the leaders, you still score points in this championship. So even though you may be a lap down, you still got something to fight for, because you know you can pretty much lose or win this championship by not having a scoring round within this championship. So you know, even if you do have an incident, you still need to get back on track and get that race finished to get within them 2 laps of the drivers.
I think that's the important thing as well. With anybody that plays iRacing and we do officials, and you know, once you've done your officials, you start getting like league invites coming through, and you're picking and choosing. But I think it's the attitude of the fact that, you know, you might have 4 points, and he's in the pits, and he might have 7 minutes of repairs, but he's still got that option, as you say, to score points in the league, just as much as an option to score SR in officials, Andy. I think the people seem to forget that they've still got that option to manage to get their points that they need in a league race.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every round has its has got to have its bonuses, and you've got to make sure that you do score the points in there, because that's where the championship sort of run and loss. I don't know about you, James, but I sort of need a quick breather here on Apex Racing TV after them 2 exhausting races that we just watched. So we're going to quickly go to an advert break, but we'll be back here live shortly on Apex Racing TV.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Real Fowler.
And Real Fowler is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong,
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series,
and many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Okay guys, we are back now. We're just under the 40-second mark left on the warm-up coming into race 3. What an absolutely first 2 races, Andy. And if these 2 races are anything to go by, our 3rd race is going to be absolutely epic.
Yeah, definitely. A great advert for the championship there in the first 2 rounds. So much close racing throughout the field, including at the front of the grid there in the second race, 3 cars coming around the last corner, all within a fighting chance of doing it. So, it'd be interesting to see what happens in this race 3. See if Roberto Ferrari can maintain his winning streak at the moment in season 3.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one as well. As you see, the warm-up has literally just finished. So it's going to be, we'll bring you the grid for the 3rd race shortly. But I'm looking forward to this. I think Andy's looking forward to it. And we're going to have an absolutely epic 15 minutes of racing, as we can see there. Andy, take us through the grid for the 3rd race.
Yeah, so we've got Russ Fowler, the top arm, in first place, Dan Skinner second, Ario Germanchis in 3rd, Thomas Sorensen in 4th, Enrico Mucciamecci in 5th, Paul Hayden in 6th, Paolo Simonek in 7th, Robert Ferrari in 8th, Damian McMullen and Jay Walsh line out your top 10. We've got Ronald Roderick in 11th, Simio Serrano in 12th. We have Victor Lewandowski, Ronald Moons, Pano Hardre, Pedro Dominguez, Prishta Prava, Nathan Healy, Andrew Barman. Heading up the field is Hex Valentine. So interesting. Here we go for race number 3.
Wow, it was a very speedy grid there, Andy. I'm not going to lie. That was read as quickly as physically possible, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Because we had the cars onto the grid. We're just waiting for Ronald van Rijtwijk to get onto the grid, and then we will be going very shortly. Now, this is race 3. If you've missed the first 2, please go back to the beginning of the broadcast and watch them. You will not be disappointed. But we are here with the lights. We've got 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are go in the race 3 of the MX5 Season 3 Apex Racing TV Championship. Russ Fowler's out in front, Dan Skinner is second, Yamantis is in 3rd, Sorensen 4th, Simonek is up 2 places already, and I think he's going to be the same dangerous one to watch as we head down into Tamburello. We've got Fowler, Yamantis who's up 1 on Skinner, Sorensen, Hayden, Simonek, Mucciamecci, Ferrari and McMillan in there on 9-10. And again, Andy, we've had a very good clean start so far, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely a big shout out to the drivers. I'd expected some really big incidents there coming down into Tamburello, and that's always a notorious corner, but the drivers keeping it nice and clean coming in. But this is where they'll start hotting up, trying to get them positions done. But the biggest move at the moment is Arias Germantis is just fighting over Russ Fowler at the moment for that first place on the inside, coming around the fast last axis, but he unfortunately gained a slowdown there and gone from first place all the way down to 6th.
Yeah, as we head down into Piratella, we've still got Fowler, Skinner, Sorensen, Hayden, Simonek, Yamantis, Mucciamecci now. Yamantis is trying to defend from Mucciamecci coming down into Aqua Minerale. Mucciamecci's got the inside. Oh, there's a contact in as well. Was it McMullen? Mullin involved, I think, as well in that one with the Musumeci Mantis battle. Mantis goes all the way down to, well, down into 17th now. I think the only 2 cars he's got behind him, he's got Brahma, High Raid, and Hex Valentine. But I think that was going to be, we're going to have a replay of that one. I think Damien McMullen was involved as well, Andy. So that's going to be an interesting replay, I think, if we can see it.
Yeah, as we watch it live here. So coming down into the Aqua Minerale, we've got Yomantis on the outside of the track, and that's Musumeci there. So Musumeci tags the end and the tail end of Yomantis. Obviously, we did blame sort of Damien McMullen there, but he was an innocent bystander in that. So Musumeci went into the back, unfortunately, of Yomantis there and caused the spin. Musumeci come off the best, but Yomantis currently down in P17, so he came off the worst as we watch here. Damien McMullen obviously right on the back of Musumeci coming into the first corner here, going into the second, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do on the inside. As Dan Skinner trying to, for all his life, defend that position over Sorensen in second. You got Hayden, Simonek all queuing up right behind Skinner here, currently in first place at the moment. So a lot of defending to be done, but you know what he does have to his advantage, he has got his teammate there as we look back from him in third place, so maybe he can sort of try and help him out and hold these drivers up to try and let him get away. So we'll see if any team tactics come into play here.
Yeah, we've got Dan Skinner, Thomas Sorensen, Paul Hayden. The teammate being Paul Hayden there from Team OTR. We've got Skinner out in front, Sorensen second, Hayden third, Simonek in fourth as we're heading down into Piratella. Now Hayden is right up the back of Sorensen. Coming down into Piratella, we're going to be heading down into Aqua Minerale very shortly. We go round, we take the left-hand side there. We're going to be full throttle as much as we possibly can. Coming into Aqua Minerale, Paul Hayden is still 0.45 back from Sorensen now, with Dan Skinner again opening up 0.55 of a gap. But we have got Simonek, Ferrari, probably the two quickest drivers on the track at the moment. I think Hayden's got to be looking forward as well as trying to look backwards, because he's not going to want to lose time to Sorensen. But as we see him take far too much curb and get a very slow exit, unfortunately, Andy.
Yeah, I think obviously Ferrari's just letting Simonek do all the hard work, and he's just literally following him through in his paces as we watch Simonek take the inside here down into Ravazza. So managing to get that position. So there's one person between him and Ferrari, Paul Hayden, now currently in fourth place. So at the moment, Simonek is certainly on the charge, but Robert Ferrari is not letting him get away. And it'll be interesting to see if he can make it race one with 3 wins at the moment. But certainly, if anybody's got anything to do with it, the guys in front of him will not let Robert Ferrari get the 3 wins, the Grand Slam in the first opening round of the championship. So I think all the drivers in front of Ferrari will be trying to do what they can to make sure that he stays behind them.
Yes, he's just put in a 2:04.6, the fastest man on the circuit at the moment. It's going to show that when you're in traffic, you've got Dan Skinner, Sorensen, Simonek and Hayden holding you guys up. We've got Ferrari, the quickest man on the track at the moment. He goes round to the right-hand side. He's settled back in behind Paul Hayden as we come down into Toza at the moment. It's still Ferrari, Hayden, and then we've got Sorensen, Simonek in front of us as well. Dan Skinner trying to get away. He's not really setting the timing boards alight. Unfortunately, these guys are catching Dan. You're going to have to really push forward as much as you see there. We've got Simonek on our right-hand side as we look at the screen. We've got Sorensen on our left. Hayden is on our left and Ferrari is on our right as we're heading down into Piratella. I think this is going to be Ferrari's move here now as he makes Paul Hayden known he is there. And that's it, takes in that position there, and he's up 4 places now, Andy. I think he's going to be one to stop, and I think the only man really that can stop him on track would be Simonek. But even Simonek couldn't really stay with him in that last race, did he? I think Ferrari has just dialed in on this track and is just, I think, far too quick now. As we look at Simonek go past, is he going to be taking the line on Sorensen? Sorensen's had to go a different line, which gives Simonek an absolutely, completely different exit speed. Coming out of Varianta Outer down into Ravazza. I think this is going to be Simonek's opportunity. If you leave that inside open, Sorensen, he's going to be sticking his nose down there, I think, as well. Coming down into Ravazza, and he didn't take it, Andy, which is a bit of a surprise. I thought he might have gone for it there, because there was a slight gap, but I suppose not one to do safely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these guys are all over the back of each other, and the Sorensen at the moment is just feeling Simonek breathing down his neck, and Ferrari is breathing down Simonek's neck. So the usual suspects we're seeing at the front end of this grid at the moment, but at the moment Dan Skinner seems to be doing a quite good job, just staying a little bit ahead of Sorensen. But I think it may be that Sorensen's holding up Simonek and Ferrari at the moment. So as we see Simonek diving down the inside here into Toza, managing to get that inside line, but he'll have the outside line coming out and then get the inside line. Oh, big connect there! Simonek and Sorensen.
There's going to be chaos. They are across the track into Tamburello on the exit, and there was just so many people involved in that. Sorensen, Hayden was involved, Ronald Moons again unfortunately involved, Simonek was involved as well, and that was absolute. That comes from one there as well. Robert Moon's wheel has just gone in a completely different direction to his car, as we're going to be seeing the replay here as we're seeing Simonek and Sorensen's on the left hand side, Simonek's on the right. As we come through Tamburello, we're going to be heading up. To be honest there, Andy, I would be looking at Simonek as maybe a little bit in fault, as we saw Paul Hayden doing barrel rolls. Ronald Moon there with his car smashed up as well. If you looked at assigning the blame, Andy, would you assign it to Simonek on that one?
Do you know what? It's quite odd because Simonek had his car alongside Sorensen there, and it seemed that Sorensen tried to cut across him, unfortunately. Maybe was more interested in Ferrari on his outside. So, it's hard to proportion blame, but luckily in the championship we do have a protest system in place that you can, at the end of the race, if you feel a grievance by anything that's been done out on any of these 3 races, you can put in a protest, and an independent steward will look at the event and assign penalties where appropriate. So it's not like the iRacing gods decide it. They don't. The ARL gods, as they're probably called, will decide who gets a penalty and if any action needs to be taken. So, there is recourse for making ambitious moves on occasion, and it can be quite steep. But yeah, that won't help at the moment. Simonek, who, as we can see there in the timing tower, is out of this race. After a really good comeback in race number 1, to have a good race number 2, to get taken out of race 3, and that's the fine line and fine margin of racing here on the MX5 Cup.
Now, as you can see, that's moved Roberto Ferrari up into second. That's a bounce of Russ Fowler and Damon McMillan, who's up an absolutely 5 places. Oh, there we go. We've got Dan Skinner going off. No, Dan, unfortunately, that's going to let Roberto through. And we are stopped on track into the pits. Can we get a replay of what actually... As we come down now, we don't see any issues. It seems a bit weird that he's just gone... Nothing's broke. Nothing's...
This went straight on.
It just went...
I don't get it.
I don't get... And I'm a little bit lost on that one,
Yeah.
I can't answer, guys, what went on with that. Unfortunately, Dan Skinner just went straight on into the gravel trap and went straight back to the pits, which seems a little bit bizarre, but that does release Roberto Ferrari now. He's out in the lead quite comfortably with a massive 10-second gap over Russ Fowler. Damien McMillan is up a massive 6 places now. He's in 3rd. Jay Walsh is in 4th in 6th. Nathan Healy, the mover of the day, as we go on board with him, he's up an absolute extraordinary 13 positions, and he's pushing on to the back of Jay Walsh, 0.34 seconds back, heading down into Ravazza as well. So Nathan Healy is the mover of this race in race 3 of the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup there. And again, he's going to be looking racy. I think he's looking racy. Goes up the inside of Jay Walsh, coming down into Ravazza. Is he going to make it stick? He's got a very slow exit, and Jay Walsh unfortunately takes the position back. Nathan, you're moving well. You're going to have to go again, as we can see the battle in front with Russ Fowler and Damien McMillan. But that just goes to show with Nathan Healy there, though, Andy. 13 positions, and all he's managed to do is really stay out of trouble.
I mean, that's one of the big things with this league. A lot of the drivers know, if you're consistent in these leagues and you can get mid-place and just stay up there, you're going to be up there fighting for the championship. As we saw there.
Russ and Damien McMillan. That was definitely contact from Damien McMillan there. Just sent the well as we look at the battered MX-5 of Russ Fowler, bumper hanging off. Oh no, there was another car there going straight off as well, Lewandowski. Who was that as well? Was that Prado going off as well? Avoiding that, there is Prado. It was Prado who went straight on as well with Lewandowski. That was absolute crazy. As we can see here, look, McMullen is tucked up behind Fowler. He's pulled out to the right. Is this Fowler closing the door? It is. He's not really. Yeah, there's the move. He's moved under braking, Andy, and literally left McMullen really no place to go.
No, he sort of had that inside line, but then decided he wanted the outside line and went into Damien's path. So unfortunately there, again, Damien, a poor bystander, it looks like it on screen. And unfortunately, wow, what... You know, we have so many incidents at the front of the screen, so many pros as we see there. You know, we've got Sorensen, Simonek, Hayden, and the very strange one of Skinner, who sort of went back to the pits after leading the race. And I'm thinking, but what this has done is it's promoted a lot of the AMs now into the podium positions of Damien McMullen, currently in second place. Healy, who's the biggest mover, up 15 places, currently in third. And Jay Walsh. So these cars on track now that we're watching are all the cars that are fighting for the P3 at the moment. Damien getting a little bit of room over Healy, but certainly third, fourth, fifth, and sixth is all up for grabs here, with the three cars just in the long stream coming down the start finish. So we'll see if any slipstream effects and see if we get any moves here going down into turn number 1 and 2.
Yeah, as we head down at the start finish straight, we've got the second place Damien McMullen. It's 3 seconds up the road. We've got Pedro Dominguez, Jay Walsh, Nathan Healy. Nathan, as we said, Andy said, he's up a massive 15 places. Jay Walsh now has pulled out. As we look at the screen, he's on our left. Nathan Healy's on our right, coming in Tamburello. And there again, with a little bit of an overshot. Please to be careful. Oh, there you go. Well done. Excellent re-entry there from Jay Walsh. Kept it on the track. But as you said, Andy, earlier on, these cars are very easy to be able to keep under control, but they are very easy to get wrong if you just kind of dab the brakes in the wrong place on the grass, isn't they, really?
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, this sort of race 3 has gone up that extra notch. So the first 2 races were bankers for the drivers, really getting used to being back in racing these cars again within the league. And this race 3 has sort of exploded. We've seen a lot of incidents at the front of the grid, which has promoted a lot of the amateurs up to higher positions than where they probably thought they were gonna be. But you know, which is great news for the amateurs. They're actually fighting over. But you know, at the moment, Robert Ferrari is just sprinting away with this one. So you know, he certainly looks like he's on for the first place in round 1 of this championship. But it's all to play for at the moment for third place as we watch Healy and Walsh, Dominguez battling out here for third place. Dominguez going on the inside line, managing to get the move done there, and Healy, that was really sweetly done there going into that corner, and Dominguez getting a little bit squirrely on the way out, but Healy didn't exactly have the finest of exits as well. So at the moment, Dominguez managing to promote himself into the podium, last podium place of third, and Healy is not level.
Oh, there they go again! Nathan Healy. Oh, and Pedro Dominguez having a coming together again. There was just seemed to be an insane rush of blood from Nathan. It was just that I don't really feel that move was on, but we have a look back at the replay. We'll see if there was actually a gap there for Nathan to be diving down into. But then again, that's promoted Jay Walsh up into fourth now. Yamantis up into 5th. Soriano up into 6th. Pedro Dominguez unfortunately back down in 7th. Nathan managed to hold on, so we'll have a look at the replay here. He's gone down to the right-hand side as we head down. He's gone in. That was. I can't. Yeah. Well.
What's their room? What's their room? I don't know.
No, I think there was.
I'm not going to call that.
I know. I think we'll leave that to the stewards. I'm sure both me and Andy are sitting here with our own personal views, but we'll leave that one to the stewards. I think as we see Jay Walsh and Yamantis, they're going at each other, going round into Tozer, going down into Piratella. Nathan Healy still kept his second place. Damien McMullen is up into an amazing second. Sorry, Nathan Healy's kept his third place. Let me teeth work. I'll get them out. And then Roberto Ferrari is just literally, I think now we're 16 seconds. But to be fair, with all the action and bumper bumping and saying that, he goes up as well. Oh no, Roberto!
What are we doing now?
I know, yeah. Don't be doing that. You're literally coming down. This is the end, I believe, as he comes down into Ravazza. And I think this could be a Grand Slam victory for Roberto Ferrari. Heading down into Ravazza, we take the second one nice and steady, keeping it on track. Pushing out our exit now, and this is where we can relax. We're going down. This is going to be the checkered flag for Roberto Ferrari in race 3 of the opening season of the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup. There you go, Roberto Ferrari coming across, taking the Grand Slam of victories. Damian McMullen is second. Yamantis has cleared Nathan Healy now as we come down into Ravazza, go down onto the start-finish race. So that could be a Yamantis, I think, might get third. Jay Walsh might be fancying his outside. He's gone down the outside on the run down. He's on start-finish straight. They're going to be rubbing. Oh, no! That wasn't a move! That Nathan Healy, that was not... Oh, unfortunately, is that going to be dropping them down? Nathan Healy's down into 6th, 7th. And that was... Well, again, Andy, I'm going to sit here on the fence. I'm not calling that. I think the race stewards will be able to have a look at the incidents there, but unfortunately, that did not do Nathan Healy or Jay Walsh any favours. Yamantis is up into third on that one, and Soriano, Dominguez, Lewandowski all gain positions.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not.
Word as wow. I mean,
yeah, I'm not calling that.
I mean, there were so many incidents within that third race that literally, shook the whole field up into a big cab. It's wow. I mean, for our viewers, I think for our viewers, you're not going to get a better championship to watch than on track. But I think some of the drivers might be a little bit raging at the moment in their cars with a couple of the incidents that were put in their frame. But just obviously a quick shout out to all our viewers on YouTube that have joined us for this commentary. Thank you very much for joining us. If you've liked it, and if you haven't, then you can't been watching the stream. Just give us that thumbs up. Click that bell for subscription, and you can basically watch all the league racing activity we have here on Apex Racing TV. There's literally more than one race a night. So in the ARL League, we got this on a Monday. Tuesday, we've got the GT Pros that's coming into the last 2 rounds this week. Then we're going to start up with the GT AM Championship in the GT3 cars. On Wednesday, we got the last 2 rounds of the Radical Championships. On Thursday, we got a brand new Skip Barber Championship soon to start in a couple of weeks' time. Friday, we got the brand new Porsche 922 Cup into round number 3, Ram Road Atlanta this Friday. Saturday, we got the Formula Renault 2.0 Championship mid-season in that race number 3, I think, in that. So join us there. And on Sunday, still to confirm what we're going to have, but I'm pretty sure that something will get announced very shortly. So there's loads of action going here live on Apex Racing TV, as well as many other series across the pond to join. So loads of action. Give us that thumbs up, give us that subscribe, and you'll get notifications to whenever we go live here on Apex Racing TV. But just having a look at the results, or the topsy-turvy results of race number 3, Robert Ferrari getting his 3 race wins here tonight at Imola. Damian McMullen managing to get top of the AMs and second place. Yario Mantis managing to get, after that incident we saw with Jay Walsh and Nathan Healy, managing to get the move done before that incident and taking that third last spot on the winners rostrum in 3rd place. Simeon Serrano in 4th, Pedro Dominguez in 5th, Victor Lewandowski in 6th, Nathan Healy 7th, Jay Walsh in 8th after that incident we saw at the very last start-finish race with very strange ones. Ronald Yadruk in 9th place, Andrew Brahm in 10th, Ekro Muchamechi in 11th, Pusha Prava in 12th, Franco Hydre, Dan Skinner, Paul Hayden, Ronald Moons, Thomas Sorensen, Russ Fowler, and at the bottom we have, who will not score for this round, which is absolutely devastating, is Paolo Simonek and Hex Valentine. So all shook up there a little bit, James, in race number 3.
Yeah, I think there was some very strange incidents. You know what I mean? I think we've looked at it. before, and there was a very bizarre incident, and I'm surprised they kind of took it that way towards the end of the race. I think, you know, if I was going down a straight and a car could possibly have taken my position, I think I probably would have let him go. But, you know, we saw some very weird behaviour, and as you say, Russ Fowler, that just confused me. And Dan Skinner, that Dan Skinner move really did sort of confuse me. It'd be interesting to see if we can get a message from Dan to say what actually happened there, just driving straight through. So yeah, it was a very exciting third race, and I think the stewards may have some work to do in that one, Andy.
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll be kept busy, whoever that might be. Certainly a lot of on-track incidents, but I'm pretty sure that the guys will forgive and forget coming into the next round. But as we can see at the moment, we've got 3 people waiting in the interview area, and someone, James, who you'd like to have a quick chat with.
Yeah, I need to have a chat with Damien McMullen. I think we'll bring Damien in, and I'll speak to Damien as well, because I feel I might actually owe him an apology. Damien, welcome in.
How are you, lads? How are you keeping?
I'm not too bad there, sir. First off, I must say I need to apologise. I may have accidentally pinned some blame on you that turned out it was actually Musumeci's unfortunate up the inside, and you were just going round the outside, I believe. And there you go. That's what's on stream on now.
There's an apology. Wow.
Yeah, well, I am going to apologise, because initially, from my initial reaction, I thought you may have been making a move up, but no. So that's down to me. Dude, you've got to be happy with a second place. Come on, that race was absolutely insane, and to survive it, you know, you've got to be happy with second.
I was. It was literally a carnage, and like when it happened, I was like, oh no, I was like doing so well, and then I said, right, put the head down and just keep going, and getting second out of that was just a good result out of that one.
Yeah, and I think that, to be fair, I think it just shows that you're up a massive 7 positions on your starting position.
Mm-hmm.
You know, was it just safety first, do you think, with all of these accidents that happened, and there was absolutely a good few in that last race? Was it just safety first and trying to survive the first initial sort of 5 minutes?
It was just literally, as you were saying, the first 5 minutes that's where all the madness would be, and then after that, everyone's just cool down, keep the car going, and that's what I was looking for. And the position I got, I was just thrilled with it.
Yeah, but you know, it was well deserved. You moved up massive 7 positions. Yeah. You know, what was your practice theory behind this? Did you do much practice on this race, or did you come in blind?
No, I didn't come in blind. Geez, no. I've done season 1 and season 2, so practice for season 3. I was literally, when I saw the date already, and I started testing straight away, and just doing 2 or 3 hours a night, and just make sure my lines are comfortable. And I think it's starting to play off already. Yeah,
as I say, that was an absolutely epic race from the there, sir, as well. As we were watching you on screen with Musumeci as well. And dude, all I've got is praise for you. And obviously, you know, apologies for maybe putting words out a little bit soon without seeing the
fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry, it's all good.
Yeah, but a good job from you there, sir. Andy, anything you want to ask Damien?
Yeah, welcome back, Damien. You know, good to see you again in Series 3 of here. So it's a bit of a carnage, sort of finishing where we left off here in Season 2. You know, what are your expectations coming into this season?
Well, it's the same as like first season, Season 2. It's just keep the head down and do well, and just get my positions that I'll be looking for, and where I can finish, I'll be happy with. Yeah,
definitely. No, but thanks for joining us in the commentary box. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to, mate, before we let you go?
First of all, I want to apologise to Russell, because in race 3, I don't know what happened, but I need to look back. But I apologise to Russell for that incident. And then I want to say thank you to my family and my friends and to all my sponsors. Thank you very much. And you won't see me next week because I'm on vacation for a week. So next week's my drop round.
You'll be sadly missed, Damien.
I know, I'll be watching it though. I'll be on the beach somewhere watching it anyway.
Oh, okay, I'll let you off then.
Perfect, Dad. Thanks very much. See you in a few weeks.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, Damien. Thanks. Okay, so we have got Dan Skinner in the interview rating room. I'm intrigued to find out what happened there in the second race. So welcome to the commentary box here, Dan. You had us a bit confused here in the commentary booth. Can you just run through what happened there in race 2 and why you felt you had to go back to the pits?
Race 2 or race 3?
Race 3, sorry. My bad, race 3.
That'll be a schoolboy error. My VR headset ran out of battery.
Oh no, God, I hate when you get hardware issues like that. I mean, you were doing so well. I mean, you obviously had Robert Ferrari just right on your tail, but throughout that race, you were doing an exceptional job. And we thought that it might have been something like that, but when you actually returned to the pits, I think we were just sat here scratching our heads.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit scratching my head. Good job the comms went on.
I mean, obviously, a bit of a disappointment there, but I suppose what you can take the positive out of that is you were on pace throughout this race. You were up there at the front. There was a few incidents, which I think you're always going to get in these cars. They can take a little bit of punishment around corners, but I mean, certainly, how do you feel the first round has gone for yourself, bar the mishap in race 3?
Yeah, so I guess it's my first league race ever, so learning the ropes, but quite happy with it. I'm enjoying the experience, and a bit of rough and tumble, but hopefully we'll be able to keep it clean throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, first of all, welcome to the ARL league, and your first season within one of the leagues in the ARL. One thing I will like to comment on is your rather excellent livery. When I look at it on screen, it's like, what is that? And then you see the side of your car. It's great. So what's the is there anything behind that, or do you just you're all the older generation? I don't know.
Yeah, nothing other than probably age related, close to 50. So. A few friends in Discord keep having a jab at the age, so we thought we'd go with the old timers racing.
Yeah, great livery, keeping up for the old timers. I'm in that club as well, so I'll be cheering you on. But overall, good starting to, like you say, your first league racing here on ARL in the Mazda Cup. Obviously, we've got another 8 rounds ahead of us, so plenty of action to be had. What are your expectations coming into the season, and where would you like to sort of end up towards the end?
No real expectations other than wanting to enjoy myself, to be honest. Wherever I finish is just going to be a bonus, It'd be nice to be up at the sharp end whenever we can, but we'll just see how it develops.
Yeah, no. Well, thanks for enlightening us anyway on what happened there in race 3. Both myself and James were scratching our head thinking, what just happened there? But don't know if you've got anything you would like to ask Dan there, James?
No, to be honest, Dan, I was just, I was perplexed. As you say, now you've obviously enlightened us on the situation. It's fully understandable. Because did that leave you completely with no sound, and you were just staring at a blank screen, just a quiet screen then, I guess?
I've got triples as well, and it basically makes it unwatchable if you're not with the headset on. So I literally had to come out and reload back in triples. So.
Oh, you VR in?
Yeah, my VR ran out. I did the schoolboy error of not having it fully charged, and I thought I'd got away with it, but lo and behold, I didn't.
Oh, okay. So I thought it was under headset, as in normal headset, with mic. But no, now you're VRing. Yes, I would have pulled over as soon as possible as well, to be fair. So good job there, mate. I hope you enjoy yourself, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Yeah, look forward to it, guys. Cheers.
Take care.
There's Dan Skinner there, obviously, getting an idea of what happened there in race number 3. So we have got we've got one more here. So he is a resident commentator here on ARL. So we'll see what Mr. Pushta Prava, aka Austin, has got for us to say. Remember, Austin, you are live on Apex Racing TV, so mind your P's and Q's.
Andrew, you know me more than that. I'm not gonna. I've already done all that for my stream. So if you want me unfiltered, I'm not gonna self plug that.
Yeah, obviously, you have been in sort of the battles in this one. Obviously, we saw you in the Formula V Championship, where you, a little bit of door rubbing. I suppose it's still the same in these MX-5s, but they can take a little bit more damage than them Vs.
Yeah, these cars, physically door rubbing. There was race 1 was perfect. If every race could be like race 1, I would be a happy boy and just, make everybody proud and all that stuff. Race 2, I'm somehow on pole. The only aim up there. I'm racing against some of the best guys in the MX-5, and you know, you could just get a little bit too aggressive, and next thing you know, well, people hit you and rub doors and stuff. Race 3, I don't know if you saw that, but I was murdered. And but other than that, it's been a very entertaining day for me, for not only me but everybody in my team that I brought in here. Usually I don't race with my friends, but they always wanted to join in, so I actually paid for all my teammates' entry fees to hop in here, and they had a blast. Most of them did.
That's the main thing. We did see Hex Valentine at the back of the field, but you know, I think one of the main things, like exactly like you say, is come in these leagues and have fun. You know, there's nothing worse than coming into the league and being all angry and aggressive. You know, I think exactly you put it the nail on the head is come and have some fun. You know, have some fun out here with your guys, race along with your pals in what is, on the whole, a lot better racing than iRacing. Although that race number 3,
this is a little bit much. This is about 250% much better than the rookie MX5 series. About 70, I would say 50% better than advanced Mazdas there. The advanced Mazdas, you know, they have setups. This one, we're all on the baseline. But, you know, the racing was, you know, for race 1, it's the first round of the season, so you're going to have people just being a little bit aggressive for stuff. But, you know, I believe throughout the season, everyone's going to start minding their business and just trying to race in a more respectable manner around others and not destroying people.
I know. James, you got anything that you'd like to ask Austin?
So are you saying there, Austin, then we may see some stewards' inquiries and stewards making a few decisions after the race?
More than one.
I think they're going to be very busy just by race 3, to be fair. But
yes, I'm sorry, Andrew. I wish you the best of luck. And the rest of the amazing Apex Racing League admins.
Most definitely. But we can see Panicle there in the interview room. I think, unfortunately, we just slightly run out of time. So if you can give our apologies. If he comes in next week, we'll make sure that we do drag him in, Austin. But before we let you go, mate, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Well, I have to give a big shout out to Pan and Hex of Lead Paul Racing. They're amazing friends of mine. Pan is the team owner of Lead Paul and, well, one of the 3 team owners. And they are really fantastic. I can't thank y'all enough for putting these leagues on here, because usually I'd just be losing my mind in official races or just commentating just regularly, not having a life. But, you know, Apex Racing League allows me to hop in here, have fun, and have a lot of fun, and do some fun work. Also got to thank my sponsors everybody at Artesian Builds. Artesian Builds, some of the best custom PCs out there, starting as low as $1,000. And if you want extra $200 off, use code Pravda_210 at artesianbuilds.com. Can't thank you enough, Samuli, James, and Andrew for this amazing broadcast, and everybody on Apex Racing TV.
Thank you very much, Austin. And we can't tell you're a commentator at all. So,
spiels lined up.
It was almost like you were doing it on the outro there, mate. Me and Andy were just sitting in silence.
Yeah, just clapping away. Well, thanks for joining us, mate. Looking forward to seeing you next week, mate.
All right, y'all have a fantastic night, and I'll see you next week.
Take care.
Right. There was Austin, aka Push the Prava there of Leopold Racing, giving a shout out to the world there, I think. So, I mean, what can you say, James? It's just been an excellent night's worth of racing. I mean, where has that hour and a half gone? I just don't know.
No, it literally flew by. You know, before you start, 1 minute you're starting saying you're in the beginning of the first race, and next thing you know, you're calling Nathan Healy and Jay Walsh having a collision at the end of the third on the start-finish straight. So, you know, I find with this kind of racing, when it gets excited, the time does fly. And but it's it's been definitely a manic hour and a half. And you know, we've seen some amazing racing, and we've seen some untidy racing in a diplomatic kind of way. But yeah, onwards and upwards onto next week, and I think it's going to be a epic season this year.
Yeah, definitely. And that sort of brings us to the end of this broadcast. And obviously, with all the action we've had, we've failed to mention three main sponsors of this championship: Virtual Racing School, SDK Gaming, and Apex Racing Academy. Please go over to their website, virtualracingschool.com, sdk-gaming.co.uk, and apexracingac.com to see more of the systems and subscriptions that they can give you to improve your iRacing. But thanks for joining us here on Apex Racing TV. I've been Andy Thompson. I've been joined in the commentary box by James Parfitt and Sammy Kumil in the production booth. So we've had Robert Ferrari getting 3 race wins here at round 1. Let's see if he can do it again next week at the same time here on Apex Racing 2, round 2 of the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup. So from us all here, good night, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.